Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about OnShape. It's an online software that allows us to create three-dimensional objects. So let's go. To access OnShape, we must first start at Google. Open a new Google Chrome tab. In the URL bar, I want you to type the following: cccsd.onshape.com. Our school has enabled the Enterprise Suite for OnShape. This allows us to log in using our pre-existing Google accounts. Type enter. Now that you're in the OnShape startup screen, what you're going to do is select the Sign In with Google option. Once OnShape has loaded, you'll notice that you start at the activity screen. You won't have anything in here. I already do because I've been into OnShape working through some of these isometrics ahead of time for you guys. What we want to do is focus on creating a new document here. Find the document tab at the top of the screen and left click. We're starting a series of isometric blocks, so we want to begin by naming this document the first block in the series, Isometric Block 1. Once you've typed Isometric Block 1, you can now click OK. Here we have our workspace in OnShape. This is going to allow us to create geometry, or shapes, that we can then turn into three-dimensional forms. Notice in the middle of the screen, you have the option of viewing a front plane, a top plane, or a right side plane. You also have in the right-hand corner a Cartesian cube. This cube is used for navigating our different angles and directions, as well as zooming into each individual surface to make changes. Let's start by sketching. Choose the Sketch tab in the upper left-hand corner of the screen and choose a plane that you would like to sketch on. We're going to start by creating isometric block number 1 from the Google document using the front plane. Now that you've selected a plane, you have to bring in some tools to draw with. We're going to start by creating a corner rectangle. Select the corner rectangle tool, bring it down to the origin of your front viewing plane. Click once to start a rectangle, move your mouse up and to the right, and click a second time to terminate the rectangle. You should now have a blue rectangle in the middle of your screen with two random numbers at the left side and at the bottom. These random numbers need to be controlled, so we're going to change those to match exactly what we want them to be for our isometric block. Looking at isometric block 1 in your Google Classroom, you'll notice that the bottom of this rectangle should be 3 inches. In order to change the bottom number of this rectangle, we must first use the dimension tool. Find the dimension tool along the ribbon at the top of your screen. When hovering over each of these individual icons, you'll get a label that pops up that tells you what the icon is. Find the dimension tool and left click. Select the bottom line of the rectangle we've created, drag a dimension down, drop it, and edit it. This dimension should be 3.0. Next, change the dimension on the left side of our rectangle. Select the left line, drag to the left, drop it, and change this value to 1. Next, we're going to add on top of this rectangle a second rectangle. So I'm going to go back to my drawing tools, select corner rectangle, begin this rectangle in the upper left-hand corner of our existing rectangle. Drag that up to the right, left click to drop, and terminate the rectangle. Now go back to the dimension tool, choose the top line of our new rectangle, and place a dimension measurement of 1.0. Now choose the back side or left line of that new rectangle and make this 3.0. We now have an L shape that matches very closely to the isometric block 1 in our Google Doc. We're going to click this green check mark where sketch 1 is to finish the sketch. Now we want to take this flat 2-dimensional shape and convert it into a 3-dimensional expanded form. To do this, I'm going to select the extrude option from the ribbon. Click on the extrude icon, select the surfaces you'd like to extrude, both rectangle 1 and 2, and then give this an extrusion depth of 3 inches. Click the green check mark to end extrusion 1. We now have a completed isometric block number 1 in OnShape. Once completed with the three-dimensional form of isometric block number 1, we can go in and customize the form to match the one from our Google document. Left-click on the two right surfaces. Click the Appearance panel on the right-hand side of your screen and change the appearance of part number 1 by adding a layer and selecting yellow. Now we're going to change the appearance of the front face of our L-shaped block. Left-click on the surface, add a face appearance layer, and change that color to red. Now we're going to change the top surfaces of our L-shaped block. Click on the two top surfaces, add again a face appearance layer, and change this color to green. Left-clicking the Appearance panel icon again will remove the Appearance panel. Now we have an isometric block that matches perfectly with the one from our Google Doc. How do I get credit for this activity? Click on the Share option at the top of OnShape. Share this document with me. Change Can Edit to Can View, and then click Share. Your task for isometric block number 1 is done. Close the share screen and exit out by closing out of OnShape. That's all we have for our first lesson in OnShape. Many more of these will be coming, so make sure you tune in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.